All right, where to start? I bought myself a drone. I finally jumped into the drone pool and went ahead and purchased myself a flying camera robot thingy. I have zero experience with these things, but I know that for our new property, we wanted some drone footage of the land as we developed it, and just made sure that things were the way that they were supposed to be with the new property. If you're not familiar with our new property project, click on the link. So anyways, I bought the DJI Mini 4 Pro. I bought the one with the smart battery, so it has the extra weight, and I had no idea what I was getting into. I literally thought I was buying myself a toy, but I wasn't. A drone is definitely not a toy. So this is a warning to anyone who thinks that they're just going to go on DJI's website, order themselves a nice little drone, and just zoom around. You can do that, but there's a lot of warnings. And in this video, I'm going to go through everything I've learned in the first few weeks of owning a drone. So all right, first things first, I'm going to show you what I bought. This is the DJI Mini 4. It is a tiny thing, and with the smart batteries, the extra capacity batteries, smart batteries, it weighs 304 grams. That's going to be really important, and I'll talk about why. So that's the drone, the nice little controller, and extra batteries, lots of batteries. I can't show you any of the footage. This is what I learned about drones, and I think that honestly, before you check out the purchase of a drone, they should make everybody read and be familiar with the fine print associated with buying a drone in the US. I assume most other countries are the same. I'm just going to be talking about the US. So first of all, not a toy. It is a FAA regulated flying craft. You need to follow FAA regulations. That means you need to be familiar with FAA regulations. That means you need to do several things. So first of all, your device needs to be registered with the FAA. So you need to go on the FAA drone zone and register your device. You need to get a recreational flyer license. I think it's called Trust. Hold on. Yeah, Trust, the recreational UAS safety test completion certificate. So you need to complete that. It's pretty straightforward, not very complicated. So that's an easy one to follow. Basically, by doing that, you would need to register your drone if it weighs more than 0.55 pounds. That's 250 grams. Remember I talked to you about my drone weighing 304 grams? Because of that, I had to register my drone. If you have one of the simple batteries, the small batteries, you don't have to register your drone with the FAA, but you also can't do a whole bunch of stuff. And the minute you do some of this other stuff that I'm going to talk about, you need to register. Okay? This completion certificate allows you to fly for recreational purposes only. What does that mean? If you are flying for any reason other than the pure joy and satisfaction of flying a little craft around the air, then you are not flying for recreational purposes. If you want to check your roof, see where the water's coming from that's leaking in. You want to see after a storm which tiles, roof shingles got lost. The minute that you take the craft up in the air to look up at that, you are officially you're not flying for recreational purposes at that point. Therefore, you are breaking rules, laws, until you become a registered commercial drone pilot. That's right. if you want to, if I wanted to show you right now some drone footage that I took, the minute that I shared that video with you, then I would be earning income from that video. Not much, but still, even pennies. And that would not make me a recreational flyer. So any purpose other than makes you a commercial drone pilot. And for that, you need a commercial drone pilot license. My objective is to keep an eye on my land and the growth. Made it so that it was no longer for recreational purposes. I realized after purchasing the drone that I need a commercial drone license. So the key thing is that I registered with a training course. I'll put the link someplace below. And that's $160. Then after I'm finishing the course, that's not a short, like hour-long course. That's a 12-hour course. It's a long process. I'm about 35% of the way through the course right now. Do it when I can, when I have some free time. It's when you have a full-time job, it's a lot of work. So, and it's not simple. You basically need to understand how airports work, how aerodynamics work, how planes work in general, the different parts of a plane. Even if you're not flying a plane, you still need to have the certificate that assumes that you are qualified to fly a quadcopter or one of those drones that are planes, just smaller. And that requires a certificate. So just be aware that if you go out and buy your kid a drone just for him to kind of look around, the minute that drone is over 250 grams, okay, fully loaded, over 250 grams, the minute it is used for something other than zipping around the backyard, that kid of yours is going to need a commercial drone license. Nobody tells you this before you buy it, so I just thought I'd share that. There's other rules associated with it. You need to always fly within visual line of sight. So those YouTube videos of people like sending their unmanned devices like 3-4 miles down, zooming around, etc. They're not keeping line of sight on it. That's not okay. You can't do that. You can have your license revoked. You can pay a fine. The FAA fines, by the way, for breaking the rules can be up to $100,000. That is not something you want to be doing. You don't want to risk it. Well, who knows? You may want to risk it, but I wouldn't. $100,000, a lot of money. These little devices are extremely complicated. You be familiar with the manuals, read the manuals, watch the tutorial videos, and practice. Just keep practicing. Second of all, if you're like me and you have a device that weighs over 250 grams, like I said, register it at the FAA Drone Zone. Oh, I forgot to mention. The FAA course to become a registered recreational flyer costs $5. So that's cheap. That's your gateway drug. $5 and you can fly it for recreational purposes. And so the next part that I learned is that you can't just unbox your device, pop it in your backyard, and zip it right up. The minute that you do that without requesting clearance or ensuring that you are authorized to take off, you're breaking the law. It's the way that I do this is I downloaded an app called Autopilot. pilot with a PYLOT. So right over here, I'm just going to show you how I registered for a flight that I'm scheduling for 11 a.m. today. So right now it's 10:36. I'm recording this. Plan on going out afterwards and just getting used to the controls of the device. Purely recreational. And you won't see any footage of that because I can't share that, because the minute I did, I'd be breaking the law. Okay, so once you get into autopilot, you have an opportunity to create a mission. The mission is, you tell it where you want to go, how high you want to go, the radius of the mission, the date, the exact time, and then you ask for authorization. And either your flight is authorized or it's not. This is an incredibly useful tool to know whether you can fly your drone or not. So make sure if you have a drone, you use this tool or a similar tool. It's extremely, extremely useful. Once I've figured out where I want to fly, I make sure that I have met all the conditions, the advisories. Down below, I understand the wind strengths, the weather, the gusts, the rain, any other kind of rules that I need to follow. You need to basically understand what you're approving or agreeing to. Once you're done, you click on OK, continue, then you select the mission altitude. I set it to the max, 150 feet, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to be playing around. Then click on continue. And then you review everything that you're submitting, and then you submit it. And you will either have your mission authorized or rejected. So once it's authorized, you can fly your drone during this window with the parameters that you've set up. That's how you are authorized to fly your drone, even for recreational purposes, which is what I'm doing now. So yeah, not straightforward. Just be aware. Other rules: can't fly in national parks. If you think you're going to take your drone to Shenandoah National Park and zoom around to see the, whatever, the woods, you're not allowed. It's not allowed. So no drones in national parks. There's a lot of other stuff associated with remote IDs. The DJI Mini 4 Pro smart batteries, these are the smart batteries, have built-in remote IDs. Basically, they tell the FAA exactly where your drone is, who owns the drone, all the information, where you are, where your controller is when you're remote controlling the drone, where your drone is up in the sky. All this gets transferred over to the FAA. They know exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it. They know everything. So if you think you're going to be using your drone for nefarious purposes, you're going to get caught. Then you're going to get in trouble. And breaking FAA rules, that's not local police stuff. That's federal. I would not mess with it. Also, my drone, it's not considered a category 1, 2, 3, 4 drone, which means that it's not authorized to fly over people. I can't take it to the soccer field and fly over the kids playing soccer. Not allowed. So the reason that it's not allowed, these things are exposed. If they were caged somehow, there was some sort of cover or protector around these things, then it may be a category 1, 2, 3, depending on where DJI would get their approval. But yeah, can't fly over people. Another thing I learned, so my wife was really concerned about flying where I flew the drone. Basically, she didn't want it to fly over neighbors' property. This is what I learned about airspace. You as a property owner own the airspace over your property to infinity. But the FAA in the US has easement rights into that airspace. And when you get FAA authorization to fly in the area that you said you were going to fly, the FAA has authorized your easement into that airspace. And so you can fly over your property, the property of your people, of other people. That said, you can't use it to spy on other people, to encroach into their privacy. You can't just go ahead and film other people. You can't bring it into, theoretically, your airspace and look into other people's windows. That's not allowed, and you can get in a lot of trouble for that. So you can fly over other people's property as long as your intention is not to collect data about your neighbors. So it's complicated. Just don't be just be a reasonable human being. Be thoughtful. Be respectful, and you shouldn't get in trouble. Also, something I learned online, you see some people oftentimes say, at least in my community's Facebook page, somebody's flying a drone over my house. Can I just shoot it down? And you can't. You can't throw rocks at it. You can't shoot it down. You can't do anything with it. The minute that you try to damage and destroy a drone, even if it's flying over your property, you are breaking FAA rules, laws, and so that is a federal crime. You take down that drone, that is a federal crime. That's a big deal, and I strongly suggest you don't do that. And if you think that there's no way to know, my footage on my drone is on my drone, my SIM card in my drone, but it's also on here at the same time. So there's a SIM card back here that records everything that I'm doing. If I see you pointing a gun at my drone and trying to take it down, I'm reporting it to the police, and that's federal crime, big trouble at that point. So don't worry about people trying to take down your drone. They're not allowed. They could still try, but they're not allowed. I've got 14 minutes before my scheduled flight, so I'm going to start getting ready and just practice some maneuvers, try to get used to making my shots a little bit more steady. And my initial thoughts on the DJI Mini 4. I think it's a great little machine. It's super steady. It deals well with high winds. Yesterday I took it out for a little bit, and we had gusts that were probably up to 30 miles an hour. And it does this, but then it goes back into its regular spot. And the footage is really stabilized. It's very, very impressive. The footage is super high quality. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I am not disappointed by the quality of what I'm seeing. So I'm looking forward to sharing more footage from my drone once I get my license and I become an official commercial drone pilot. Jesus. You know what? I never thought I did, in the grand scheme of all my thoughts of everything that I would do in my life, becoming a drone pilot, commercial drone pilot, was never on the radar. But here we are. Life throws you some interesting curveballs, and you adapt. Key is not to break the law. If, like I said, if you don't meet the qualifications of a recreational pilot, when you take that drone up, you need the commercial drone pilot license. You just do. For the rest of the world, make sure you follow your local jurisdiction. I think some areas are much tougher than others. I think Canada is extremely tough. So when I go up to Canada at the end of June, I'm not going to bring my drone. When I go to France at the end of April, I'm not going to bring my drone, even though I did meet the criteria on the European drone regulations, and I got my certificate of authorization to fly a drone. I'm still not going to do it. I just understanding how many rules and regulations there are around these things, I'm not going to take any chances. I will keep doing what I'm doing, and I will focus on the drone on footage for our new property as it's developed. So that's it. I'm going to go fly my little, I was going to say toy, not a toy. I'm going to go fly this little thing.